Welcome to Newtown's World. I'm your host, Gary Davis. For the past 15 years, a concerted effort has been underway to revitalize Sandy Hook Center. Local businessman Michael Burton of Michael Burton Builders has played a significant role in that effort. Michael also is the president of the Sandy Hook Organization for Prosperity, or SHOP. He's here today to provide us an update on what SHOP is doing to promote all the great progress that is being made in Sandy Hook Center. So Michael, great to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me, Gary.
So Michael, what prompted the idea to form SHOP in the first place?
As far as I can tell, Gary, this goes back as far as 1983, an effort to revitalize Sandy Hook. Local landscape architect Irwin Potter sort of got the movement started, and the first idea was to revitalize the corner of Washington Avenue and Churchill Road, which is a little pocket park there called the Glen now. He was joined by several local businessmen, Lou Bastos, the proprietor of the Red Brick General Store at the time, William McAllister, who was an insurance agent in the building, and Fred Casbarian, who owned Kay's Corner, which ultimately became the 102 Churchill Road Plaza that we see today. The men got together, they planned to beautify the park a little bit, and in about 1986 all this planning came to fruition. Julia Wasserman and her husband donated the pocket park to the Newtown Forest Association, who allowed SHOP to build the park as it stands today. In 1986, SHOP had a red brick sale for $2.50 per brick, and those bricks ultimately made the paving of the park as you see today. And with the money that was raised, the landscaping and stone walls were put in, and it's been a great part of the Sandy Hook Center.
Right,
Still
well,
to today.
That's where the duck races are held.
That's where the duck races are held. It's where our Christmas tree lighting, which is really taken off in the last few years.
Yeah, become quite an event.
Yes.
And for those of you who haven't been down at Sandy Hook Center, if you go by Sabrina Style, you can see the sign for the park right there. It's right in that little pocket between 102 Plaza and there. And it's quite nice, actually. It's a little oasis amidst all the hustle and bustle that is now representing Sandy Hook Center. But it's amazing that all this started back in the 80s, because Sandy Hook at one time was a very bustling community and then just kind of fell apart and had some hard times and got in disrepair. And it's been a while to kind of get it back to where it is today.
It has been a long battle, a long road, and the turn of the century was a very busy, as you said, a very busy industrial town with the mills, and there was a huge mill on the 102 Churchill Road property that burned down at the turn of the century, and as well as the building that the park is on now, there was a First National store there that burned down as well, and so there have been some big changes, as you said, and I think SHOP's had a long road to get it to where it is, but it's been a success. SHOP's, I think, after the park was built, one of SHOP's next adventures was to deal with the state of Connecticut when the bridge was rebuilt in the center of Sandy Hook in about 1986-87. The DOT just wanted to build a plain bridge, and SHOP merchants got together and petitioned the state to beautify it a little bit with some red brick sidewalks and the lights that are on the top of the bridge. And what became known as the Battle of the Bridge was won by SHOP finally, and the states conceded, and they did jazz it up a little bit.
So what have been some of the other critical projects in the last 20 years or so that have really set the foundation for the revitalized center that many of us are enjoying today?
I think one of the keys to the success of what's been happening so far is happened around 1985. The Newtown Planning and Zoning Commission adopted a set of regulations known as the Sandy Hook Design District Regulations, which provided a flexible zoning tool for the businesses, and it's sort of a unique area, and I think as such it needs some unique regulations to make it work, and they envisioned that, and they passed these regulations.
So how has that worked to the advantage of the community and the businesses in Sandy Hook Center?
Some of the things it allows that aren't allowed in other zones are multiple buildings on one lot. It allows very close setbacks to the street. I think the terminology is an average setback, so you're allowed whatever the average on your side of the street is, which in many cases it's 5 feet or 4 feet. Some buildings are built close to the road. That's part of the charm. So it allows that to be replicated in newer areas. It allows for shared parking, so in the case of my building on Betts Square, I have mainly office use during the day. We share the parking with Fig's Restaurant at night when he's busy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and they get very busy at Fig's. I mean, it's really amazing just in the last 3 or 4 years You've got Figs, and now Stone River Grill has seemed to be establishing itself in the red brick
They're doing very well.
building that we mentioned earlier. Sabrina Style has become a favorite place for people to get prom dresses and other types of great dresses and tuxedos, George's Tuxedo. And Betts Square itself has been a significant addition. How difficult was it to get, first of all, to get it built, but then also to actually, you're now full to capacity?
Yes, the building is actually a three-phase project. The first phase is built and completed. It involved taking the old residence from the Betts family and adding a 9,000 square foot addition onto it. And at the same time, I made the whole building handicap accessible with an elevator that goes to all 3 floors and opens up into the existing building as well as the new building. But I think the people appreciated the whole Sandy Hook. The potential tenants appreciated the whole Sandy Hook feel with being able to work in a building, walk down the sidewalk to get lunch at a deli, or walk next door to Figs to get dinner after work. And I think that's been a huge part of the success of that building.
And then that's all building on the foundation that some of these institutions in town have set, like the Sandy Hook Diner has been there for years. I mean, it is an institution in town.
It is.
And actually, the Iron Bridge restaurant has its reputation for its great burger and beer special, which everybody
Home
talks
of the beer and
about.
burger, everybody knows it.
And they've really done a lot to upgrade that facility
Absolutely.
as well. And so it's great to see that all these interesting things are happening. And the water main project has been very important to Sandy Hook, not only the first phase, but the new second phase that was recently approved by the town government.
Yes, absolutely. In 2002, SHOP started to petition the town to run the water main down from the highway down top of Churchill Road. As you know, many restaurants at the time had tried, and it was very difficult with the water in an urban area. Sometimes is a little bit compromised, and takes filtering and whatnot to make it potable. And by having the water main, it really took those issues right out from concern, as well as upgraded the fire suppression capabilities of the district, which helped with people's insurance rates. So in 2002, the main was run down Churchill, run through the back of 102 Churchill, and ran up Crestwood Drive, so it was able to supply the Sandy Hook School and the Sandy Hook Firehouse, which also were definitely needed water.
Right.
And it was a big it was a big thing at the school.
And now this new phase has kind of set the scene for future development. There's a project involving the owner of the villa that's kind of in its early phases. That could be a game changer in terms of further expansion of Sandy Hook Center in a positive way.
Absolutely. And you were on the legislative council at the time in 2009 when we came to the board of selectmen and the council to petition for some funding through the CIP to extend the water line. One of our big goals was to get it down Glen Road, so it would give a potential developer, the tools he needed to possibly buy and convert the existing gas station there into a tax-paying commercial
Right,
business.
and that's been sitting there empty for a long time.
Yeah.
So, but it's really interesting because I know SHOP has played a critical role in a lot of things. And parking used to be a critical issue in Sandy Hook, but that seems to be resolved at this point with the new parking area.
Yeah, parking had been an issue. I think two things have helped with the parking. A, obviously, is the 3 or 4 projects that have built large parking lots. Mike Porco built one on off Glen Road. I built one off of 102 Churchill and also at Betts Square. And we also utilized the church parking lot at the Methodist Church. But I think a second idea that's coming, and it was planning and zoning had this in mind when they suggested this part of a mixed use of building types in the district, were to have apartments over the second floor, which would basically give a pedestrian-based customer base to the businesses. So people would they could walk to the restaurants, walk to the deli, and not have to have a parking spot for their car because they already were there.
Right. Well, and trying to get traffic down there for the businesses, it's really interesting. If you bring the right business in, people will come. And if you go on a Friday or Saturday night, or any night, quite frankly, trying to get into Figs, it's crazy. Stone River Grill is picking up patrons, people who want to come there. They just started concerts, and what a great view, from that outdoor area.
Gorgeous,
the deck
yes.
goes, where you can see the Putatuck River, and also Demitas has that same type of view, and then the Sandy Hook's own coffee shop. And now you guys even have an ice cream place
Yes,
of your own.
We have an ice cream on Glen Road. Yeah.
And one of And you know that one of the nice things that makes it quaint about heaven is it's actually a house. One of the challenges of trying to find heaven is it's a house, and I think more and more people are figuring that out and doing well. So a lot of great things that are coming into play in the community down there. So how does SHOP kind of keep it all fresh for the merchants and keep everybody together and focused?
We have for the last 3 years now, we've had regular monthly meetings on the first Tuesday of the month. We generally meet at the Firehouse in Sandy Hook, but occasionally we'll branch out and visit a restaurant. A restaurant will offer to host us. So we've been to Stone River several times. We've been to the Villa several times. We've been to Sandy Hook Deli for a meeting. We just had a meeting at the Iron Bridge. So it's nice to get out, I think, and let everybody patronize the businesses and visit the businesses at the same time as having our meetings.
Right.
And
well, it makes a difference.
We've had meetings that range from 15 to 20 people to probably about 75 on our busiest meeting.
Depending on what's being served, hors d'oeuvres, right?
What's served and what's going to be on the agenda. But we've become a more formal organization in the last several years. We've got real bylaws, and we have a board of officers, dedicated committees, and an annual set of goals that we put out, short-term and long-term goals.
Well, but it really makes a difference for the businesses in Sandy Hook to be organized, because you really rely on the local government for a number of different things in terms of regulation, like the design district that was established in the 1980s. Getting approval of the water main required you to go through a number of different government bodies in town. And so how do you think SHOP has played a role in getting the support of Newtown government? And generally, I think the government has been supportive of many of the activities for Sandy Hook.
I absolutely agree. The town government has been great with us. I think for the most part, town governments welcome groups of citizens like SHOP that will get together for a common goal to help improve their community. Through several administrations now, we've gotten support from different selectmen, different boards of legislative councils, and planning and zonings, and I think hopefully it'll continue.
And we were talking earlier before we started taping the show that one of the critical aspects of bringing Sandy Hook back to life, so to speak, was the Streetscape program, which is still continuing. But that first critical phase of Streetscape really made a difference in terms of giving Sandy Hook a wonderful facelift.
Absolutely. The town got a state grant back in 2002, I believe it was, for the Churchill leg of the streetscape, which became known as Phase 1. And SHOP was invited by the town to take an active participation in picking out designs of curbing, designs of sidewalks, light fixtures, and where it would go and how it would impact the different stores. And it was being that the older buildings were close to the road, it was fairly touch and go with a lot of the construction aspects of it. We had a great contractor, LRM landscape contractors, that really worked the store owners and made sure everything worked out just right, and businesses weren't negatively impacted, which they could have been from a construction
Sure.
project such as that.
Well, if people get down there, it's really kind of interesting to see the depth and breadth of the types of businesses that are down there. We've got a toy store, we've got barbershops, hairdressers, we've got the Suzuki Music, we've got I can't name them all, but I know you probably can. We've got the Sandy Hook Liquors and others, and as well as these small office buildings, both in the center and a little bit farther out down Glen Road. So it's great to see that all this is starting to come together, and the center is starting to thrive a bit.
I think each is a key component to the other. I think the office buildings are a key component to the businesses because the people go out to lunch from the office, and naturally, why not go to a great place like Sandy Hook Center to have lunch?
Oh, absolutely. Now, Adona Commons has the new condo complex that's going in the Sandy Hook Center area has generated some controversy, but in the end, it's going forward. How is that proceeding, and what kind of impact do you think it's going to have on Sandy Hook Center?
From what I understand, it's approximately a 26 or 28 unit condominium project, and the developer has put the driveway up the hill. He's put a couple foundations in. I understand they're going to be modular design units, so I think they're being built right now. At least I think he's going to put up 8 or 10 to start with, something like that. But I think in general, I think it'll help the district. There's again another residential, pedestrian-based customer base for the businesses that these people can walk down to the restaurants, walk down to the deli, and it's just going to continue to build the businesses, I believe.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and it's been great to see. We've been in town on and off for about 20 years, so it's been great to see the progress. It's clear that the building owners now are taking great pride in the way they present their buildings, and have done what they can to continue to kind of go with the momentum that was brought in by Streetscape. And there's a lot of things the shop does to help highlight all the different businesses that are down in Sandy Hook, and maybe we could talk a little bit about some of the neat things that are going to be coming up in the next couple of months.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, Gary. That's we have a great fall lineup, if you will, of shop events. Our first event this fall, which will be happening October 6th, is called the Passport to Sandy Hook. It's sort of a signature event. We came up with the idea, and it's pretty it's pretty particular to our area, we think. What happens? It's free to the public, and you come down to the Sandy Hook on the 6th of October. You'll get a passport, which has all the businesses that participate in it, and you will go to each of the businesses, sample their wares and whatnot. Many of them put out pizza or soda or whatever, and you get a stamp on your passport. So when your stamp is completed, I think there are 25 businesses this year. You'll take it to Sandy Hook Fire Department has a setup in the back of the 102 Plaza, and you deposit your stamped passport in a box, and it enters you into a raffle for several of our prize packages, which are valued at about $1,700. And it's a pretty neat event. It also features a stuff-a-truck where we ask people to bring food products to support the Faith Food Pantry and stuff them into one of the Sandy Hook Fire Department's fire trucks that are on the scene.
And Faith Food Pantry is right down in Sandy Hook Center at St. John's Church.
Right in St. John's Church, and we like to try to do some benefits for them every year.
Sure. And then don't forget Halloween. I already
Right,
saw
our
some
next-
signs for Halloween are out in the
Our
center.
next event is the Halloween Candy Walk on October 27th, and that's basically a trick-or-treating event for the kids to go around to the different stores and businesses and collect some candy and take part in the many activities along the way. And then naturally our keynote event, as we talked about, is our Christmas tree lighting on December 1st, which has really grown in leaps and bounds over the past few years, and I think we attract a good part of the town to it.
Yeah, it's been, everybody knows about the legendary tree lighting ceremony every year that we have in the center of town, but Sandy Hook's really become a rival to that event in many ways.
I think we sort of have our own attractions that they don't have, because all the stores basically open up their doors to people, and they meander through the stores, and they hand out, the businesses hand out hot chocolate and snacks and cookies, and basically a big Sandy Hook Center open house is what it's turned out to be.
Yeah.
And it really showcases the businesses to people that don't see them every day, and it's a great event. But we have these postcards that we've made up, and on the back of the postcards there's a schedule of events. These started back in June because we had a couple events this summer, a wine tasting, which is a very successful fundraiser for us at the Stone River Grill, and we sort of take pride in Sandy Hook Fire Department's Lobster Fest as well. We've adopted that as a Sandy Hook event, and the fire department is a very active part of the shop. But all these are showcased on our website as well, and these cards will lead you on our website. These cards are available at most of the businesses in Sandy Hook Center, and the website is www.experiencesandyhook.com. And I encourage everybody to check this out, because it's a great website. It was designed by our two webmasters, Mary Beth Hemingway and Kyle Liddy, and it also provides a link to every shop business's website.
Oh, great.
It's a great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing how everybody's been coming together, using technology, getting the word out as best they can, and there's a real community spirit down in Sandy Hook Center, and there's a lot of things that businesses do to give back to the community.
Yes, we do. We have several. We mentioned the Faith Food Pantry. We donated a portion of our wine tasting proceeds to the Faith Food Pantry, as well as we do 2 collections a year, food collections for the Faith Food Pantry, one at Passport and one during the year. And this year we teamed up with the Candlewood Valley Trout Unlimited Association, and we did a cleanup of the banks of the Putatuck River. We went up and down the river and collected whatever debris was left from the previous year's storms and winter, and we take a lot of pride in the stream, because that's basically our lifeblood. It runs right through the district, and it provides a lot of the beauty.
Oh, absolutely. It's a real special characteristic for Sandy Hook.
And our newest venture that we're trying to do is we will be funding a scholarship from SHOP through the Newtown Scholarship Association for a Sandy Hook business student to help with defray
Oh,
the
interesting.
cost of college.
So how is that student chosen to receive the scholarship?
We're going to ask for the Scholarship Association's help on that. They offered that,
Okay,
and
great.
our
So
criteria is
in
going
the
to be
formative, it's in the formative stages.
it's in the formative stages. We took some of the proceeds again from our wine tasting to start this fund, and we're going to have some other dedicated fundraisers throughout the year too.
That's fabulous. And if you want to hear about these fundraisers, are they also at the information's usually on the shop website?
Yes, the shop website's updated quite often, and everything's there.
That's fantastic. So what can so shop's doing a lot of fabulous things to get people down to Sandy Hook Center, but it's up to the local residents to get out there and take advantage of these opportunities. Why is it so important for local residents to get out there and support local businesses?
Oh, I think, as you know, there's probably a lot of benefits to shopping locally. You don't get tied up in traffic. You don't get in the hustle and bustle of the malls and the strip malls and the Walmarts and whatnot. But I think the biggest benefit of shopping locally, it allows you to invest your money in the community that you live in. A strong business community will defray the local property tax burden, which we all paid pretty dearly on.
That's right.
The dollars spent here help employ Newtown residents, which we all know what the unemployment rate is today. It's great to have a few extra people employed, and as we mentioned earlier, it helps us to continue to support our fundraisers, such as the Faith Food Pantry, and the activities that we put on. All the activities we put on are free of charge, and they're paid for by our merchants. So, helping to pay the merchants helps us give back to the community.
Sure. Well, I think the nice thing is that right now, at least, the quality of the products being offered are fantastic. We've got some wonderful restaurants. We've got some great local businesses providing some really nice products that you can't get everywhere but in Sandy Hook, and it's great to see that. So really it's a credit to shop and to the business community, the way they've really come together. Now it's up to us as residents of Newtown and Sandy Hook to get out there and support it. So there's some great activities coming up. So make sure that if you want to know what's going on with Sandy Hook Center, that you check out www.experiencesandyhook.com. Go into your local Sandy Hook business and make sure you get your postcard with the upcoming events for October and December. And just keep an eye on what's happening at Sandy Hook Center, because it's all good. Thanks to people like Michael Burton. So Michael, thank you so much for being on Newtown's World. And
thank you for having us, Gary.
Hopefully we'll have you back again.
Definitely appreciate the exposure.
And come back again when we know more about the scholarship and some other neat things are happening. We'd love to have you back. So thank you very much for taking time to watch this episode of Newtown's World. I'm Gary Davis. Until next time, live life well.